Your health is your most important asset.
Do you have a plan for when you lose it?
Hi, we're Sherry and John from AmpedToGlamp, RV newbies finding our way and bringing you along for the journey.
Whether you want to come or not.
So in this video, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about how important your health is and how you need to be prepared in case something happens. And I'm going to use as an example what happened to me over this past month.
Yes.
So as many of you who watch our channel know, I had a surgery initially on February 11th. The recovery time was supposed to be about 2 to 3 weeks. And then I would have been able to return back to work. And we had a couple of videos saved up to kind of push out with the RV tours. And it would have been fine.
Would have been.
Would have been. But sometimes things don't always go the way that we expect.
No.
After my first surgery, I guess it was about 3 or 4 days after that one, I was very uncomfortable. And so my surgeon had me come into the doctor's office for a visit because she was a little bit concerned about what I was telling her. John drove me up to the hospital where her office was, and I was just expecting her to take a look, tell me what I was doing wrong during the recovery and what I needed to change, and come back home and continue recovering from the surgery.
Right.
But that's not exactly what happened. So I came back to the doctor's office today to get checked out, and they are going to admit me. So here we go again. This is why I got really nervous, John.
Right.
This was in the middle of Omicron. Omicron?
Right.
However you say it. But this was in the middle of that where, it was a time in our area where getting a hospital bed was hard.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh no, we are getting you a bed. And I think by 3 o'clock,
they did.
They had a bed for me. They just had to prepare the room before they could take me up.
Right.
Right. And the doctor's office was actually a clinic inside of the hospital. So we were right in the hospital at that time. And so that made me a little bit nervous. And then the minute they took me up to the room, they started prepping me for surgery.
Yeah.
There wasn't any wait time. It was, I get there, somebody's doing vitals. I get that nice, wonderful hospital gown, very fashionable.
Yeah, they're very fashionable. They give you 2, actually. They were very nice.
They were nice. So I get the fashionable gown. I get stuck with an IV. I get my blood drawn.
Yeah.
It was like boom, 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 boom. And then by like 6:30, they're wheeling me down to the OR.
Yes, they were.
And then they have a little pre-op area of the OR where they just kind of have you sign off on all of your paperwork. You meet the anesthesiologist, the surgeon comes back around, and there are lots of people who are involved in a surgery. And I was there in the pre-op for about maybe 10 minutes before they were whisking me into the OR. I get in the OR, there are like 10 people there. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these people are here for me? I was really nervous at that point. And it was like people just asking questions left and right, getting, more of your history, trying to figure out what happened, poking you, and then they give you what they call the silly juice, which helps you to relax a little bit. And I guess maybe I was getting a little bit tense at that point because there was just so much going around. People were all touching all different parts of my body, prepping me, getting me ready for this additional surgery. And I was really impressed that they got me into the OR so quickly. It's COVID.
Yeah.
And so, normally during some of these stages, like especially the pre-op, and like even with the first surgery with the pre-op, they let your loved one come in with you until they take you back to the OR. But with COVID now, they don't allow that.
Well, remember when they were taking you down the hallway, they took me another direction after they took you toward the OR.
They were pumping me full of silly juice,
Yeah.
John. I don't remember a lot.
So they took, you were all right at that point.
Oh,
they
okay.
took you away down one hall, and they said, no, you have to go this way. The waiting room's down here.
Oh, that's right.
So they took me to the waiting area, which no one was in because it was getting late. Mm-hmm. And visiting hours were up in like an hour and a half. That's all that was left to visiting hours. So most people were leaving the hospital. So there's no one in the waiting room but me.
And I didn't get to see you till the next day.
No, because they kicked me out.
They kicked him out. Yeah, because by the time my surgery was done,
Yeah.
and I was out of the recovery and back up into my room, It must have been about 10:30.
Yeah, it was late. They let me stay because you were there, but 9 o'clock is when they usually make everyone leave.
Yeah, so they at least let him stay in the waiting room until my surgery was done. So,
Yeah.
and the doctor came out and talked to you?
Yes, she did. Told me you were doing well. Everything went well with that surgery, and you're recovering.
Yeah. Hospitals have really come a long way. They've got this really cool iPad thing now. Let me share with you this iPad. And you can get like, let's see if I can turn it on. I usually need John to turn it on for me.
You got one hand.
Come on, John, you want to demo this for me?
Yeah.
Even when not feeling well, I still like to film. All right, John, show them this thing. It's pretty cool.
Look at that.
Look at that. In the hospital, you can get Hulu, Netflix. You can download your Kindle books. You can stream Xfinity. Oh, John, we get cable.
Yes, you get your Xfinity.
You can play games. You can sign into Apple Music.
You even have your medical records on this.
Well, yeah, like I can even order, like if I push this button here, which I won't do because I got to put my password and stuff in, but that's how you order your breakfast and your lunch. Oh, I should order lunch. So stayed the night in the hospital.
Yep.
Was very grateful that, my doctor got me taken care of so quickly. Wasn't very grateful to be in the hospital, but
No.
it is what it is. Hospitals are not fun. You don't get very much rest in a hospital. It's not very comfortable. But stayed there at that hospital, and then we were discharged the next day.
Yes, we were.
And I was happy about that. Went back home. Yeah. And then about 3 days later,
3 or 4 days
later,
yeah.
the same thing starts happening.
Yeah.
It was a Friday. Called my doctor, said, this is what's happening. And she said, I'm worried.
Yep.
I want you to go to the main campus of Johns Hopkins, and I want you to go to the ER, and we're going to admit you, and we're going back in tonight. So where are we going, Sean?
You know where we're going. Back to the hospital.
More fun in the OR, huh?
Yeah.
So not what I really want to be doing.
No.
It looks like I'm about to have my third surgery in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I am drained. I am tired of this. I just want to get better.
Yes.
I was not happy about that. And my first thing was like, is there any other way? I mean, could it be something else? Is there something else going on? You were just there. So had to drive 45 minutes to Hopkins. I was in a lot of pain.
Yes, you were.
And so we get to the ER. Blood pressure was like 179 over 95 or something ridiculous like that, probably because I was just hurting so much. And they get me triaged fairly quickly.
Fairly quickly. We had to wait a little bit.
A little bit. The doctor wanted me to call when I was done with that. I called the doctor, and probably within a half an hour,
Yeah, I think so.
there was a team that was down there looking for us.
Yeah, they were. That's right.
The surgical team, they came down to the emergency room. They got me, and they were like, okay, we need to get her in a room, and we need to get her prepped for surgery. And I was, back in surgery at about 7.
Yeah,
Again,
by 7 you were. Yeah.
I was back in surgery at 7 again. That must be like the magic hour for like emergency surgery, 7 o'clock. Went through the third surgery. Had a great post-op guy. Kept me very well medicated.
Yeah, I know. That guy was... You kept telling me that he's such a nice guy.
He was such a nice guy. I love that guy. Because I felt, like after the first 2 surgeries when I woke up, I felt pain. With this guy, I felt nothing but happy. He was great. He was awesome.
Yeah, I met that guy. He gave her 2 vials of the medication.
It was morphine.
2 of them.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was dedicated to me only, and he sat there with me the whole time, and he asked me questions about how I was doing, and if I needed anything, and if I felt any pain. And before they moved me from post-op to my room, he gave me that's when he gave me the 2 vials.
Yeah, you were feeling no pain at all.
Because he said it's a long ride
and
from there to the room, and he wanted to make sure it's in and out of elevators, and he just wanted to make sure that I was comfortable until they could get me the oral medication. And I love that guy. Yeah,
they put her all the way on the other side of the hospital complex.
They did. What was happening with you during that time period? When
I was
in the
sitting
OR?
in the, again, in the waiting room by myself because everyone else had left by the time you were done. And what's odd is they told me where to go to find you. But this is the odd thing about Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. They have their own back ways that patients and people visiting don't even know.
I'm sure all hospitals have that for
They
transporting.
must, because she left post-op, and I didn't see her until she got onto the ward floor. They were wheeling her out of this random door that led to a long white hallway.
And this time they let you stay.
Yeah, they let me stay that time.
That was good. They let you
Yeah,
stay. So
it was
nice.
late, but they let me stay.
It was nice coming out
Yeah.
and seeing a familiar face.
Yeah,
You know, because it was a whirlwind.
it was.
And I was scared.
Yeah.
And I really needed somebody
Yeah.
there. So that was really good. And they let you stay for a little bit.
Yeah, they let me stay for quite a while. I stayed well beyond visiting hours.
I think they would have let you spend the night.
They might have.
But I didn't want you to because I knew you needed your rest. Because
I didn't bring anything.
let me tell you about it. This guy was my rock. I mean, during this whole thing, I mean, John was just there for me doing everything. Everything you can imagine, taking care of me, taking care of the household. He was still working his job from home.
Yep.
I still haven't been back to work yet. And, he's just managing everything and helping me feel better. So, yeah, he did a fantastic job, my superhero.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was the third surgery. And
Yeah.
for that one, I had a lot of issues afterwards. Had a very difficult time eating.
Oh yeah, I was worried about that because you didn't want to eat.
I didn't eat anything probably for, was it 4 or 5 days?
It was a while. It wasn't that long, but it was long.
Well, I didn't eat anything from that Wednesday. I didn't eat Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I finally ate Sunday, I think.
It was either Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, and it was
you
a
ate a
couple of
little
bites.
something.
Yeah, so they were concerned about that. And then whenever you have surgery and you're in the hospital, you have certain milestones for them to be able to discharge you. And it was taking me a while. And I was really disappointed because I spent a very special day in the hospital. Get a little shot of my birthday cupcake from catering services. And there's John with my B-Day card. Yay! John. Okay, let it sit there. I'll take it. Yay! But first, I gotta take my meds.
Yes.
And after my meds, I'll look at my card. That'll be my reward.
Yes.
My birthday.
Yeah.
But, the hospital guys were really nice.
They gave you a special
They
cupcake.
gave me a special cupcake.
And what else?
And John
nurses?
ate it. See that, guys? See that? My cupcake. John stole my cupcake and I can't chase him down.
You gave it to me.
That's what you say on camera. I saw what you did. You just grabbed it off my tray and ran.
I'll take it and give it back to you.
Oh, until the camera goes off.
Here, take your
Cupcakes are better with friends.
See
And you're
now?
my best friend,
Oh my
John. Enjoy the cupcake. Oh, yeah, and then it was really sweet. I got 3 of the nurses on the floor came in and they sang happy birthday and they did a little dance while they were singing happy birthday, and that was just so sweet of them. I wish I could have gotten them on film for you guys because it was just so awesome and fantastic, but I was talking to my son on the phone at the time and I didn't want to hang up on him, so.
Yeah.
But they were really fantastic and it was just so nice of them to do that,
It was.
They made that day, even though it was in the hospital, a little bit more special.
Yeah.
So I am, as you can tell, back home now.
Yes.
Still recovering. I probably have about another 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, before I head back to work even.
But see, you've got your appetite back. Had Chick-fil-A today.
I had John fed me Chick-fil-A. I don't know if that's a good thing. A quick message before we go forward. If you're finding value in our content, please subscribe to our channel. John and I are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and we have a really long way to go because we're not even at 2,000 yet.
Nope.
So please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And if we hit 100,000 subscribers this year, John's going to go skydiving.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. Yes. Okay, so hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
I got to get out of here.
Okay, stay. So, in the very beginning, we talked about how your health is important. And what we really want to share from all this is that it doesn't matter whether or not you're a full-time RVer or you live in sticks and bricks. You really have to be prepared in case you yourself have a medical emergency.
Yeah.
If you are traveling wherever you are going, you should always make sure that you know where the nearest medical facilities are so that you're prepared. It's something that you should do as you plan out your trip. You're planning out the campground that you're going to. You're planning out the route that you're going to drive. You're planning out where you're going to stop for gas. You should also plan out, when I get to my destination, where is the nearest medical facility?
Yeah.
So that if an emergency happens, you don't have to stop and think about it. You don't have to go and look for it, because when that medical emergency happens, sometimes there's no warning, and you don't think like you normally would, because you're panicked and you're stressed, and your loved one may be hurting, and it's just going to make it so much more difficult. So make sure you know where that facility is. Second, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you know that you know what you're going to do in the event that you are traveling away from home and somebody does have an emergency. Do each of you know how to maintain your RV? Like, can both of you drive the RV? Can both of you hook up if you have a fifth wheel or travel trailer? Does each person traveling, each adult traveling, do they know how to do that? Because you don't know if you may have to do that, right? You don't know when that emergency is going to hit, and you don't want to be stuck without any means of traveling, or being stuck with your rig or your fifth wheel or your travel trailer or whatever it is you have stuck at a particular location where you have to keep paying for it. Or let's say somebody gets medevaced. You need to be able to go, and you need to be able to get there.
Right.
And if all you have is your RV, and if you have your RV, that's probably the best way to get there, because you'll have some place to stay.
Yeah.
Right? When you get there, that's close to the hospital, you can find some place. But just make sure that each person knows what to do, and knows, if you do the interior, make sure you know the exterior. If you do the exterior, make sure you know the interior. Everyone should know those responsibilities, and have a checklist so that, if you're swapping out, it's easier for the other person to know what the responsibilities are.
Right.
Because I know John's got a lot of stuff in his head, and we need to do this too. John's got a lot of stuff in his head that I don't have in mine, and I probably have stuff in my head that he doesn't have in his, and it was just a wake-up call for us that we need to do that as well.
Yeah.
From the time that I was young, my mother always taught me to make sure that you have at least 3 months worth of savings, because you never know when an emergency will happen. I've changed that and modified it, and we make sure that we have 6 months worth of savings in case anything happens. It's not easy to do. You have to make sure you pay that emergency account before you pay anything else. You have to budget for it, maybe go without a few things. Right? I'm very frugal. John will tell you. I try to.
Yeah,
I don't like to spend.
much.
I don't like to spend my money. I'd rather put my money in the bank.
Yeah.
But and you may not. Some people can't save 3 months. Some people can't save 6 months. But try to put aside an emergency fund, because you never know when you're going to need it, and you're never going to want to be stuck.
Right.
You're not going to take me for example. I have not been to work since February 10th. If we didn't have that backup. And well, I guess I should say, today is what, John? March 14th. Today is March 14th.
Almost a month.
It's been over a month.
month
since I've worked.
Yep.
And if we didn't have that emergency fund, we'd be in trouble, right?
Yeah.
We'd be worrying about, okay, we've got the RV payment, we've got the mortgage payment, we've got my son's college tuition payment coming up. And it would just, when you're sick, you don't want to have...
No.
You don't want to have that extra burden.
No, you don't.
It's just too much. So, just some things that we wanted to share with you. We hope they're helpful. So let us know in the comments below if you have an emergency plan for when you're traveling. And let us know what your emergency plan is. Let's share with each other what we do to keep ourselves healthy and safe in an event of emergency.
Yes. We'd like to know.
Yep.
Well, what are you looking at? Like the video already.